Welcome back to SmithSillett podcast, episode 4, and it's our final podcast, and we're doing SmithSillett memories.
Hello, Sammy. Thank you for a lovely introduction there from Sammy Sillett. It's been a little while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
It's been a little while. So I've got lots of obstacles that have got in our way, actually, hasn't it? It's got, obviously, we had the COVID. We had another lockdown, which wasn't ideal. And with the lockdown as well, we also had Sammy Sillett shielding. So it obviously means that Sammy couldn't be in school for a while. So the podcast had to take a little bit of a break. And obviously with the podcast, we couldn't quite do it over Zoom. It would have been a bit tricky, a bit too many logistics to try and sort out in that regard. But it's good to be back in school. Sammy, you have not got long left here, have you now?
I haven't.
How long you got left?
About 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks.
How are you feeling about that, Sammy?
Not great.
Not great. We're going to miss everyone here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're going to miss you all too. But let's make sure we have a fantastic 4th podcast episode. And so then when you've left and you're at Brinsbury doing your own thing, I just spoiled it, then you can look back on the podcast and show everyone. And when we're world famous and you've got your qualification in horticulture and woodwork, and I am a famous
Police hero.
police hero, exactly, like Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Is he a police hero?
Let's pretend he is for the purpose of this podcast.
I can't think of another one, so it's going to have to do. And I'm a police hero.
And I'm a Weald legend.
She already is a Weald legend, in my opinion, don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. So, Sammy, tell us a little bit, just before we get into today's episode. What we're going to do today is we're just going to go through some of your favourite memories here at the Weald. And we've had some good ones. A lot of bad. But we also, you counter out a lot of that bad with a lot of good. A lot of good indeed. So first, before we just get started with the memories, can you just tell our beloved listeners, who obviously have been waiting for this episode for months and months and months.
It's been a while.
Can you let them know, after these 3 weeks are up and you leave the Weald School on the 28th of May, what is in store for Sammy Sillett? What you're doing?
We all want to know.
Everyone's asking. They're biting at the bit. Is that the same?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. Good one.
Don't know yet.
But yes, you do. That's a complete...
I've heard through the grapevine that a certain Mr. Sillett is off to Brinsbury.
I have heard that too, because I'm pretty sure I was one that applied you. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
What are we thinking? Yeah.
So what are you doing? You're going to Brinsbury, and for all of our listeners that are thinking, well, what is going to happen to Sammy? I know they're all thinking it. What are you going to do at Brinsbury?
Horticulture and woodwork.
Horticulture and woodwork, and you're doing a few other subjects with horticulture and woodwork as well, aren't you?
English, maths and life skills.
English, maths, and life skills.
Excellent.
And you're going every day next week? Next year to Brinsbury?
Yes, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays.
That is the one. Perfect.
What are you going to do on your days off? Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Coming to say hi to you all.
Coming to school and say, well, I won't be here.
What?
Well, I won't be here, will I? I've got my new job starting September. I'm going to go be a policeman, be the new Sherlock Holmes.
What, prom?
Well, I'll be here for prom, obviously.
Not in September, Mr. Smith.
Maybe this isn't the final episode then. Maybe what we do is this is the penultimate episode and we do one for prom.
Prom exclusive.
Yeah, on the bus, on the way to prom. Was it? Yeah, on the coach, on the way to prom. We're all suited and booted. Me and Sammy in our matching High School Musical suits.
Interviews with class members and things like that.
That is a brilliant idea. Should we do a send-off episode for the SmithSillett podcast? Episode 5, the final one.
I think producer Windiak's going to get some pen to paper and make it happen.
Yeah. Roll out the red carpet.
Yeah.
Me and Sammy in our matching suits we'll get lots of different people's opinions with lots of guest stars.
It's happening.
I think that's a very poetic end for the podcast, don't you think?
And not only that, night before, I'm by McDonald's myself.
You're going to buy McDonald's.
dinner.
You're going to buy McDonald's.
Ready your pre-prom Mackies.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe should we all go for a pre-prom
I
Mackies?
think that's probably necessary.
Yeah.
Right, should we get on with the episode
Yeah,
then?
let's get on with some of our memories.
So,
Okay.
what we're going to do, we're going to take it in turns and we're just going to reel off some of our favourite memories. Now, for the sake of this podcast, because obviously some of the things we should keep a secret, like some of the really bad stuff that he's done.
Oh yeah, we don't want to talk about
We don't want to talk about that. I mean, what's that? He didn't do anything, did he?
I didn't hear
He's been an angel. 5 years, our little angel, Sammy Sillett.
Not so about that. Not so sure.
See, you might not be sure, but we're sure that We've got little angel Sammy Sillett. No behaviour points, no nothing. We're just going to focus on the goods for these. There might be a few dubious ones here and there in the way.
Not only that, today I got 102 house points.
102 house points. That's very true. I completely forgot about 102 house points.
School record.
I sent photos of for my leaving video at 11s. I make this a cup of tea.
Wow.
Wowzers.
Sammy has had quite a year this year, haven't you?
Yeah.
Despite it being a bit different with having to be away from school for a while, you've still done 102 house points is ridiculous. I think the best I ever managed in school was about 2.
I've been really good. I've been really good so far. I might get 160 house points.
160 by the end.
Yeah.
If you get 160 house points by the end, bear in mind you only have 3 weeks left and then a few weeks after. If you get 160 house points, that's 58 more house points before you leave. I will buy you 5 McDonald's.
Yeah, definitely.
5 whole McDonald's.
Yes. Even though I'll come with you.
I'll even buy you a share box of every item of the menu.
Yes, do it.
If you can get 160 house points.
Do it.
I will.
That is a challenge.
I will. Okay, who wants to start us off with the Sammy Sillett memories then? Anyone want to start?
Right, Mr. Smith, it's been pointed
Okay,
to you.
okay.
You are the star.
Now, some of them are obviously a lot better than others. Lots of funny memories. Really, really, really good. I think, honestly, it started off nice and easily. These podcasts, they have been a great highlight, wouldn't you say, Sil?
Yes.
You've been a fantastic new addition to our Sammy.
They have, and also we started this as ICT lessons, didn't we? And we just thought Sammy can get some editing in, and he can learn how everything works with microphones and getting all that sorted. And so we did it. It's been fun. And all we've done is we've sat around in a circle, social distance, of course. And then all we've done is we've sat around and we've just chatted absolute nonsense.
There's some radios in it, 7.
Well, and the radios in year 7 as well. It's like having, do you know when you used to take the walkie-talkies and run around the school?
Yes.
I did say we weren't going to say the naughty things, but that kind of just slipped out.
Although you did entertain a few people with that. There was a few giggles when you used to say the funny things down the radios.
There's a fine line between entertaining and just being straight up naughty.
I think you made a few people smile though, so we let you off that.
But the fact that we can look back at it and have a little bit of a giggle about it now shows how much of a grown-up he is now. But the podcasts, for me, they've been a really, really, really fun thing to do. Well, we plan the podcast. We think, what do people want to listen to? Do they want to hear me and Sammy yak on about what we do with £1 million? Probably not,
yes,
but
I think
some people are going to listen anyway, aren't they?
I know I would.
They probably just don't have too much spare time if they're listening to this. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Exactly. And so, yeah, podcast for me, I'm going to start off nice and strong. It's been a great fun.
I'm ready to share my memories.
Go
But
for it, that's
I'm
what I
going to
say.
take it back right to year 7, Ace Week.
Oh, God.
This was one of my favourite Sammy Sillett memories, and it was the time that Sammy Sillett blew up C3. Sammy, do you want to let them know how the kettles happened to explode?
Oh, God, this is going to be interesting.
So, we're watching a video. We're watching a movie.
Which
that-
movie are we watching?
We're watching.
Madagascar.
Yeah.
Madagascar, that's it.
Then I suddenly got a kitters out.
The kettles,
Yes.
Well, what had we been doing before Madagascar? We'd been
Cleaning.
cleaning C3, and that's the key element to the story. We'd been cleaning C3, a very deep clean. And I decided I fancied a hot chocolate. So we had 2 kettles at the time. I popped a kettle on, and suddenly all the electrics in C3 blew up. And I looked around because one of the kettles had started to froth and foam, and bubbles flooded C3 down the back of the cabinet
It was.
into the electrical plugs and blew up C3 because someone did such a thorough clean, they put washing up liquid in the kettles.
Washing up liquid in the kettle seems like a bit of an unorthodox approach, Sammy. What was the thinking behind that?
That was me, actually. It was me.
I think we've got it nailed that it was in fact you that put the washing up liquid
Yes,
in
it
It
was.
wasn't me, I must be honest.
there. I mean, I feel like he was trying to clean.
It was all with the best of intentions, but it was a very fun event. I won't forget it in a long, long time.
And how did you explain to Miss Tina that Samuel Sillett, the student you were supposed to be supporting, nearly blew up our learning to port department?
Well,
Learning to
luckily,
port? We're not deporting people. Support.
was actually away at the time at Lodge
Oh,
Hill.
result.
And so before he got back, I went to Tesco's and replaced the kettles.
Anything to say on this matter, Sammy?
No.
Do you remember it fondly?
Yes, I can.
Well, it was a good thing Miss Windy out went and bought some replacement kettles, didn't they?
And she told Mr. Healy, say, come into C3.
Yeah, Mr. Healy saved us that day, actually. I didn't know what I was going to do because I thought that C3 was going to explode at some point, and luckily Mr. Healy happened to be walking through an empty C block and had a walkie-talkie on hand to radio premises, and everything was fixed.
Wow. Where would we be without Mr. Healy, eh?
Oh, I know. He's absolutely marvellous. He saved us out of many situations.
Right, not a bad one. Sammy, right, you're up next. Any memories that you would like to share with our beloved listeners, our devoted fans of the SmithSillett podcast? Any of your favourite memories from the time at Weald School? What you got?
McDonald's. In the midbus with me and Miss Windy and Ham.
Oh.
That's on my list, Sammy. That's one of my favourite outings.
Snapped it. He snapped it.
He's nabbed one off my list. Yep, I couldn't agree more, Sammy. What did you like about those trips then?
Love for meals, first. Love it.
I feel like you can't really go wrong with going to McDonald's. I feel like you're not going to go to McDonald's, eat it, and be like, that was absolutely rubbish.
What did we think about Mr. Hammond's driving?
Rubbish.
Rubbish, I'd say a bit on the slow side, Mr. Hammond. We
He's-
almost went backwards at some point.
He's just being safe. He has a year 7 student in the minibus.
You know, it took us a good hour to get to McDonald's, which I believe is about a 7-minute drive from this school. So.
Anything to say, Sammy?
No.
No. Can you confirm that Mr. Hammond's driving was in fact quite slow?
Very slow.
Yeah, but at least you were safe, right?
We were safe.
Well, exactly. Isn't that more important than going a bit slow?
I believe we had a great sing-song on the way there and on the way back, didn't we?
Yeah.
Great sing-song.
Yes.
And a lovely McDonald's meal. So we were very lucky to have such a lovely outing, weren't we?
Unfortunately, I wasn't on this minibus trip.
No, this
unfortunately,
might have been pre-Mr.
it was
Smith.
just pre-Mr. Smith, and then everything changed when the king arose. The king returned. It's like Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, Return of the.
Return of the King, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Something
me.
like
That's
that. We'll
me.
stick with that.
Okay, right. It's back to me. It's back to me.
You must have another good memory, Mr. Smith.
I do have a good memory, and what I'm going to say actually, and I'm going to leave the penny to you. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's my
Me and Sammy, I say I'm proud of you for a lot of our time here. Okay, I am proud about the person you've become, about how you're so well behaved now. Not the kid that I first met back in year 8 that was misbehaving and not listening to any of the staff. You're a completely different man now. So we are, as a department, as a school, and I'm sure your family will agree, proud of an awful lot. And you got the Shackleton Award to consolidate just about the progress you made. So a quick word about the Shackleton Award. Only awarded to 2 people, yeah? In the whole school. That's every single year. And Sammy, you managed to get it in December, didn't you?
I did.
And not only this, but you managed to get in December despite not actually being in school.
Yeah,
He was
it's all his hard work during lockdown and how much he's progressed. He couldn't have deserved it more.
Exactly. I completely agree. So not only did he have the amazing Shackleton Award, which we were so proud of, but at the very top of the list for me, above everything else, is the bake sale.
Oh, what
Definitely.
a fabulous day that was.
Definitely. Big sale, definitely.
Now, the bake sale, Sammy, do you want to tell people about our bake sale? What charity did we do it for? What did we do? How did it go about?
Raise money for charity.
What charity was it?
Chestnut Tree House.
Chestnut Tree House, yeah. And what did we do?
A bake sale.
A bake sale. And when did we do it?
We did on December 12th for Friday.
I don't even remember the date, so it's a good thing you remembered it.
I can.
And how much money did we raise? Do you remember the exact total we managed to raise for that charity?
Can is £100 01p.
It was £123.
Yeah.
Yeah, £123. And then we walked down to Chestnut Tree House in the High Street. We said, here you go, here's 123 quid.
We saw Miss Mummy down there.
We did, yeah.
Perfect. It was absolute sellout, wasn't it? They swarmed the table. We could barely keep up with all the orders of all the cakes, could we? They were just flying off the table. It was absolutely brilliant. The kids loved having a nice cake snack, didn't they, at break?
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no great cook, so I just kind of gave it my best shot. I chucked all these ingredients into these brownies and I bought them in. And then we kind of figured it out as we went along, didn't we?
Yeah,
We kind of didn't know how much to charge for the
We had,
cakes.
Mr. Moore was our town crier almost, singing cakes, cakes.
Well, yeah, it was a good thing he was here so everyone knew. But we'd put it all around the staff briefing, we put it everywhere.
Staff came flocking out, didn't they? It was brilliant.
Shall I tell you what I remember about that bake sale really vividly as well?
What is it?
Is that I remember Miss Tester, she came and she spent a fortune at your bake sale.
She did.
You must have a sweet tooth.
She must have a sweet tooth, or she just loves giving to charity. That wouldn't surprise Miss Tester. What a fantastic form tutor, wouldn't you say?
Yes, she is.
Probably the best ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Right, but well done. That bake sale, so proud. That was a sigh of oh, he's asleep. Okay. Right, Windy Hat's up.
Okay. Oh, I've got so many good memories. I'm finding it hard to pick. So this one is just a special memory from me and Sammy from our art days. We decided to do a whole term on nature. So artwork around nature. We got some leaf prints and we drew some beautiful scenery. And we decided we needed to go and collect some plants, some leaves. We could dry them out, make some art with, do some leaf rubbings and things like that. So we decided to go on a little walk, a nature walk around the village. Also to take some nice photographs.
That's when you almost killed him, by the way.
And yes, so we went off. Lovely sunny day, wasn't it, Sammy? And things took a turn for the worst. Firstly, by Sammy almost getting stuck and falling into a huge muddy puddle.
Yeah, good job, Sammy.
He had to grab hold of me and I had to pull him out before he fell in face first and was covered head to toe in mud.
Why do you think that'd be a good idea in the first place, Sammy?
It wasn't really.
I think you almost got stuck in the mud for real.
We did. Balance wasn't the best, but we made it. And then things took a little bit of a worse turn and the weather changed very suddenly. It clouded over and started torrential rain, which if that wasn't bad enough, it then started to hailstone. The hailstones were so big and vicious, they were stinging mine and Sammy's face. Sammy's lips turned blue and I thought he had hypothermia. It was very worrying and very scary.
And from this moment onwards, Mrs. Windy Hat was never allowed to take Sammy out for a field trip again. And then all the responsibilities had to go to Mr. Smith from that moment onwards. You were just not allowed. You got banned.
And also, I got a Coke from Tesco's.
And you got a Coke from Tesco.
Oh, yeah, well-
That's what you remember from the trip.
I had to buy him a Coke from Tesco's because I was very concerned about his blood sugar levels after being in such a cold hailstorm, you see.
I bet knowing our Sammy, he didn't complain once about the rain, did he?
Oh, he was an absolute soldier. It was freezing. His teeth were chattering. He was shaking. And I kept on saying, Sammy, it's okay. We're nearly back at school. It was a little bit scary at times, but I think the Coke helped, to brighten it up.
They don't call him Sammy Schwarzenegger Sillett for nothing,
He was very brave, very tough that day. It was a cold one.
Do you remember that day vividly, Sammy?
Yes, I do.
Still get nightmares about it.
Yeah.
Have you actually warmed up since then? I know it was a few years ago. Have you actually ever warmed up since then?
No.
I don't think you ever will. But no, Mrs. Windy Hat, she's not allowed to take you out anywhere anymore, is she?
That's not true.
Has she taken you out somewhere since? No. There we go. Right, Sammy, you've got anything else to add, or is Miss Windy Hat up again?
Miss Windy up again.
Oh, Miss Windy Hat, you've got another one. I can see your big list of Sammy Sillett memories in front of you.
I've got a big list. We've done some really fun things. So,
Take it away.
Oh, what one should I go for? Well, this one includes you, Mr. Smith.
Oh,
It's
always
one
a
of my
bonus.
favourite memories, and that has to be doing the C3 Secret Garden.
Oh, yes. Well, it's not very secret if we're telling everyone in the podcast about the secret garden.
No, but it was like our little secret garden. We had so many hours of fun planting plants and a bit of sunbathing.
There was one person in particular out of us three that was sunbathing a bit more than actually doing some work.
Remember someone rolling up their trousers, the sleeves of their polo shirt, and also putting their top up like a crop top to get an extra bit of sun. But I can't think who it was.
Who was this? Sammy, do you know?
It was me.
It was you.
Sammy is all about the tan.
I mean, that garden was brilliant.
It was brilliant, and we managed to grow so many good vegetables, didn't we, Sammy? Can you remember some of the ones we grew?
No, I can't.
Oh, well, I can let you know. We grew tomatoes, peppers, strawberries, didn't we?
We did.
We grew some beautiful sweet pea flowers, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, and lots of herbs. So it was really good. And we started documenting some of the creatures that came in the garden. Can you remember any of the creatures, Sammy?
No, I can't.
Any of the birds?
No.
No?
You don't remember the bird? Even I remember
No.
the birds.
This shows how busy sunbathing Sammy was. But no, I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy the garden, Mr.
I did love the garden. It's just nice, you get out of the classroom. Like, I don't mind going to English and doing some work, doing some reading.
Boring.
Oh, don't say that. What if Miss Croft-Wang's listening?
Don't care what he thinks.
Oh, what? How? I know you don't mean that. You love Miss Croft-Wang. Yeah, so you don't mean it, do you?
No, I don't.
No, I know you like English. We've done a lot of book reviews. Sammy's done some great reading. But instead of just sitting in a classroom,
Yeah.
we had a brilliant idea to go out, have the garden out by the front, by the house. Just claimed it, really. We did ask briefly.
To get Sammy prepared for his horticulture course at Brinsbury. This was pre-Brinsbury, you see, and we thought that give him a bit of a head start with some of the planting techniques and some of the different flowers and herbs.
It was nice to be out there and not stuck in a stuffy classroom in the summer, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It was really good. Any fond memories out there in the secret garden?
Seeing High School Musical.
Singing High School Musical. Well, this was only...
Sing while we work.
Well, of course. Now, if Sammy needs a bit of extra motivation, it's what about us?
Yeah, and I hear as well, if you sing to your plants, it helps them to grow. So that's probably why our plants...
I have heard that. That's probably why our plants withered, because our voices were so horrific.
Oh, no.
Not Sammy's.
I think the plants withered because it was the school holidays and we weren't singing to them anymore.
Well, yeah, we didn't really time it perfectly, did we? But we did what we could. And it was just fun, wasn't it, Sammy? And then you took all of these skills that you learnt in the secret garden over to horticulture at Brinsbury, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And then you knew everything by the time you turned up to Jackie Lynn Half at Brinsbury College.
Yeah, Spicy left.
Pretty perfect, yeah. Unfortunately, she's gone now, but yeah. Brinsbury next year. Well, every time I walk past that garden, I'm going to think of all those fantastic memories and all those plants. And I think I learnt more than actually Sammy did. Like, I didn't have a clue how to garden. It's a good thing I Miss Windy out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you know how to plant? Well, I said, did you know how to grow?
I do.
Well, you didn't know that much before Mrs. Windout showed us.
I know.
And then she showed us how to do it, and then we turned into little gardening kings, didn't we?
We all got green fingers.
Yes, perfect.
Right, Mr. Smith, have you got another memory?
I do have another one. And now this one, Mrs. Windout, unfortunately, you are not part of.
Okay, that's
You're not
okay.
part of.
I know what it is.
One of my fondest memories is actually the football game.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Yes!
Sammy, can you tell us a bit about the football game, about what happened, who won in the end of the void?
Weald won 2-1 against St Paul's.
So tell us what we did. What happened that evening? What did we do?
I had tips, basically.
Well, that's what you remember from that night. Not Mr. Healy lifting the trophy, not Mr. Healy letting you lift the trophy. That's what you remember from that night.
Yes, it was.
So we went down, where did we go?
North Lancing.
North Lancing, well remembered, I didn't even remember that. And we saw Mr. Healy and his under-18 football team in the cup final, didn't we? And they just about managed to win that trophy. And then Mr. Healy, being the lovely heads of house that he is, what did he let you do with the trophy?
I keep lifting the trophy.
He did let you lift the trophy. And we've got a lovely photo of Sammy lifting the trophies. Me, you, Ham, put our feet up on the way back. Well, not Ham, he was driving the minibus. That would have been a bit dangerous. But me and you put our feet up on the minibus.
He's going so slowly.
It just rolls. It just rolls. And that was a brilliant memory. And we sat there and we cheered on Mr. Healy. And Sammy, if there's one thing you're good for, it's being really, really sometimes loud. Just like really, really not even knowing that you're being loud and just being ridiculously...
So enthusiastic.
Which is good, but in a football final when you need support...
That's what you need.
I imagine, like Mr. Healy over the other side, he said he heard you the whole time.
That's
Yes.
fantastic. What great support you gave.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's definitely up there with me, definitely up there. Mrs. Windat, do you have any others to end us off? Maybe one more and then we can end it off.
Oh, one more. Okay. So my favourite memory, this is my most favourite memory of Sammy, of the whole Weald school, and one that I'm going to be so sad that I am never going to witness again. It's really, you know, left a mark on me as a person, and that is Sammy and his pinny.
No, I feel like no one can really do this justice other than unless you see the photo. Maybe we'll make the thumbnail for this video.
Yeah,
It's just Sammy and his
gonna be
pinny.
Sammy and his pinny. Sammy came to school ready for food tech. You know, most kids, they wear...
He's looking very embarrassed by
They
now.
wear a plain black apron, even a burgundy one. And Sammy whipped out, I don't know if it's Granny's or Mum's, a lovely frilly pinny ready to do his baking. And I was laughing so much, and it's my favourite memory, Sammy and his pinny.
Well, I think it's not even the fact that it was Sammy and his pinny. It was Sammy and the pinny, not even in food tech, just walking around the school with this little pinny on his bottom half.
Yes.
Sammy, you've got to bring the pinny back. We're missing the pinny.
How about for prom, full suit, bottom
With
half,
the pinny.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
No? No.
No.
Hold on, but the pinny's not quite complete without the basket. Pinny and basket.
No,
You're Red Riding
I am
Hood.
not. No.
Right, Sammy,
Same time.
we're pretty much run out of time now. Okay, but very thank you for everyone for joining for this episode. Anyone you want to say thank you very much to Mrs. Windia. And nice. It was nice going through Sammy's favourite memories of him from his time at the Weald. Now we have one more episode left to do, don't we?
We do.
We do. And when are we going to do that?
At prom along the River Thames.
We're going to do that at prom on the River Thames. So, do you want to do a little outro? Tell everyone thank you for listening and say where they can find us and our new Instagram page.
It's on there on my phone.
Okay. Well, where can they find all these episodes of the podcast? All of them.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube.
Yeah, good. So if you want to look at the other episodes, go back in YouTube and have a look. But we will see you guys next time for the final episode at prom, won't we? Do you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye, guys.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
Penny.